excited today to interview the CEO of Adriyana Solutions, Mr. Raj Vashisht. And Raj, welcome. We are just so excited. We know that you are in the recruitment business. You do HR outsourcing and retention planning. You have a huge business. And so we would just like to start off by asking you, what challenges do you find in your industry, in the recruitment industry? What are you finding?
First of all, thank you so much for asking this question, Betska and Marion. See, the recruitment is a very wide industry. And the people are thinking it's a very easy job. You just call one person, he come your office, and then final. This is not the process. The main challenging is skill oriented people. Like I'm giving you one example, like Marion looking for like some person who have some degree and some specific knowledge about particular core area, and she want, Raj, I want this kind of candidate I want in my company. So the main challenge is there. See, she will get lot of candidate, but the right candidate choosing is not easy. The second point, the main challenge, like for example, Marion running a middle level company. So if I am a recruitment company, so I am facing one very big challenges. If my team and my people are not so much cultural fitment and the company structure and size and the company core area, if they know about Marion company, so they can find a good right candidate. For example, if Marion company staff strength is 30 people, and if I am hunting a candidate from 100, 200, 500 people working company from big company, so normally what I learn, they are not suitable candidate for the Marion companies. Because reason, if I'm working in some big company, so they are so much structured there. And once you are hiring a middle level or small company, so the small level and middle level company want little bit all-rounder kind of candidate, multitasking, because they don't want so many people, because they have limited job responsibility and the limited work. For example, I'm giving you example, like Marion hire one web designer candidate. So that candidate, if he coming from big company, he always do only web designing. All of a sudden, Marion printer have some problem or either some software corrupt there. So that candidate can't give solution to Marion. But the same candidate, if coming from a small company, they can easily resolve this thing, because the small company people, they are already doing multitasking job.
That is, and would you say, Raj, then, like, looking at that, it goes both ways, because when you have a small company and somebody has or a large company, somebody has a lot of entrepreneurial kind of spirit in them, or they like to really get their hands into all kinds of areas that they could potentially easily get bored at a large company where it's so much structure, they might feel limited. Is that something that you're experiencing too?
No, I'm telling you, the big companies, like if I'm doing only one job, like I'm doing developer job, so I will not get next level opportunity. I will do service job, or I will do client service job, I will do client handling job, because they are huge infrastructure. So they divide the responsibility. You cannot, if they define for A level, so you cannot cross B level or C level. You can do only A level. But once you working in the small or middle level company, you have so much opportunity to learn different departments, different things, because they always welcome you will learn and grow. That is the difference.
So then they become multi-skilled, right? They are far more valuable coming from small to medium-sized companies.
Right.
That's very interesting. I never ever thought about that. Wow.
And the next point, like the big company people, if the big company employee coming for small company, so like they are sometimes not fitting for small company. Reason behind, small company always want your idea also, your input. The
Yeah.
big company employees, they have very different mentality. They have limited task every day. They have limited task every day. You do this thing, you do that thing. So they are used to, they that is not candidate fault. But small company always want new solution, new experiment, new thought, new creativity. That is the again main problem. The third problem, the small company sometimes they don't have HR department. They don't have sometimes other facilities. So the big company employee, they have always mindset, oh, I have some problem, so I will discuss with HR. I want to leave, I will come to HR. But the small company or middle level company, always you come to your director, CEO, your general manager, senior people, because they don't follow HR, because they don't require. So sometimes this will also create an issue. For example, any employee, if he want all of sudden leave, and so HR are very cooperative, they are coordination strong, but all of a sudden he is talking to his CEO or either GM or either, so might be sometimes they decline leave, or either sometimes they say you come down for 2 hours and then you go back. So that candidate who already worked in big level company, so he feel offended. Oh my God, I'm working for a company and they're not giving for leave for my emergency work or this thing. So they feel unhappy. So they want change the job. This is the very different big difference in the small. These are the challenges, very big. Now again, I'm coming to second point. That if a small company want any crucial technology people from IT, so that is again big challenge. If my team is hunting candidate from anywhere, so they are not interested for looking for new company or small company job, because they are already working in the big companies also. They are afraid about not changing. They are afraid about it's a middle level company or a small company. So what is the surety of my job? What is the surety about I'm getting salary on time, regular basis after 1 year? If the company will lose business, so my job will, also in the stake. So these are the very important questions from candidate side also. So, and the main challenge, if you are designing one job profile, you will not get 100% accurate candidate. You always compromise. You will, if the candidate fulfill your job responsibility, 60 or 70% companies keeping easily. They are checking candidate adaptability level.
Adaptability.
Adaptability and learning skill. If they find, they will keep this candidate. These
So
are the very big challenges, and the main challenge is attrition ratio is very high now. These attrition and stability.
Can I just go back to the last set of you raised so many different concerns there. I'd like to explore that some more. So when employees leave organizations and you find out, you talk to them and you're helping them find another job, what are the main issues of why people leave their companies? Maybe that does go into that attrition retention question, right? But I'm just curious about why do people leave their organizations? And remember when we had a chat a couple of weeks ago, we talked about employee retention and how poor employee retention is, not just in India but around the world. Except in some like the U.S. and so on, the engagement rate is very high. But so why are people leaving companies? What?
See, the main reason job changing is toxic working environment and the bad manager leader. The main reason. because
Wow.
every employee wants self-respect and freedom and good working condition. And the major job changing reason is not India, around the world. Toxic boss,
Yeah.
toxic working culture, not leave. Employee can sustain less leave policy also if the working environment is good,
Right.
supportive environment, motivational environment. But I have seen so many people, they're getting very high salary. But why they leave? Because they don't like his or her toxic boss and company, wrong work culture, ethics. These are the major prime issue, the job changing.
Mm.
Mhm. Which brings up a point for me, Raj. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. You spoke about having the right fit, and I believe that when we're looking at the right fit, the skills is of course an important component. But what I found in my experience is that the values have to be aligned, and that you brought it up, the adaptability and the potential to learn and the willingness to learn. So how much of that component, which I would call a soft skill, versus like the hard skills of the job requirements, how much of that would you say, which one is more important, or what would be like a ratio to go for? And secondarily, from a values standpoint, how much of the values of the candidate should be aligned with the values of the organization, so you can make sure it is truly a good fit and you can retain your talent?
See, I'm from my experience, and I have seen so many clients and so many candidates. So I have seen, to be very honest from my side, if the candidate is very ethics and value oriented, so most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, he is or she is forced to leave the job because he following right value, right ethics to
Mm.
sustain and create good environment in the organization. But what I learned and what I found from her or him experience side, the other employees, they are creating a very toxic environment. So he and she cannot survive because he and she is trying to do good environment, good working value, culture. But the management is also responsible for what I've learned. I have seen the people who are smart and hard worker, they are always sufferer. The people who are always very smart in manipulating, big bitching, and the WhatsApp group, tuck, 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 tuck,
Mhm.
they 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 taking number one position in the boss and the management side, because the management thought they are doing WhatsApp very fast, they are doing mail very fast, so they are the super people, and the people actual doing hard work and smart work, they are not very concerned about mail and the WhatsApp group.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
That is the number one reason. I have seen so many companies, the WhatsApp group there. So the people actually deliver, who are giving delivery, they are not getting credit. The credit getting the front face, who are doing very good in the WhatsApp group. Oh, sir, I am doing this thing. I am doing, because that person is busy in the maintaining and delivering.
So
Mm.
Raj, what I'm hearing then is
Mm.
that the candidate might have great skills. They might both hard skills as far as like the job function, but also, personal and as a human being, bringing in a lot of very highly valuable skills, yet they're still not able to succeed in that organization because of the culture and the leadership, which brings me to the question of, from a recruiting standpoint, when you are recruiting for certain companies, how much vetting do you do with the companies and the employers that you are finding recruits for, or employees for? How much of that goes into your work?
Yeah, good question. Wow.
See, from my experience side, I found very less people, very less company who are following this practice, and the candidate also who are very smart, very good, highly educated, very value oriented. So its fitment is also there, 20 to 30% companies, but mostly not there. Mostly companies like what I learned from my side, I have seen many companies and many bosses and owners, they like manipulating candidate always in the big position because they want he can create a different picture in the back side and the front side he become very lovey-dovey face for the customer side. But if you're talking about senior people who are really core value oriented people, he cannot create two face. He he will be, no doubt he will become diplomatic, but he cannot tell wrong things to your client, and the backside he can do different things. So that fitment is not there. The big companies, they are liking only these people who are very sweet, who are talking very nicely, who are portray very different way, and the backside they are very different face people. And the cultural fitment is not a big problem in my experience side. The main problem is employment and employer and organization uh, organization systems, because cultural is a very deep word. Cultural is like so many countries, so many people involving there, different cultures. So that conflict is not there, I have seen, because once people working in any organization, I learned from Germany, France, India, America, they are not fighting because that time they are representing only one company. They have certain designation, certain responsibility. The main fighting is the power. The main fighting is power game
Right.
and power and rewards and
And what?
promotion. Promotion, power and rewards. These are the
Rewards.
issue.
Yeah.
Rewards.
Rewards.
The
Yeah.
fighting issue.
Yeah.
Not cultural, because I'm telling you, all people are very clever. Once they are in any position, so if they working in a different nationality people, they didn't bother. They bother about own position. Once I'm telling you, it's a human nature. Once you grab any position, so you are fond of this position, so you are misusing the things, then you are in the wrong track, because you thought, oh, I have power, so I can use this right way or wrong way, but I sustain and maintain my power. That is the very important point.
Am I hearing you correctly that there, for one, is a responsibility, of course, on the employer side, right? And the recruiting, in this case, you know, your team who's recruiting, but then on the other side, it's also potentially the candidate that comes into a position and suddenly is, I would call it like, you know, misusing power, so to speak. And I guess my question would be like, where does your responsibility start and where does it end?
See, it's very interesting question. I'm giving you a very honest answer. The most of the responsible candidate and I'm telling you, the powerful and the power and the responsibility. The candidate who are in the big position, they always believe in blame game, because they are believing in blame game, and they are sustaining and maintaining this power to that way, blaming. They are not taking own ownership responsibility. They always blaming and surviving and getting promotion. The very rare people who are taking responsibility, who are taking right direction power, using right direction, are very less people. Mostly people I have seen, they are using power for favor or other people favor, and once wrong thing happen, they're blaming all the subordinate people. They always get, I am right, they have done mistake.
They are wrong, yeah.
Actually, the corporate house requires so much modification now these days. If you are holding a big position, you cannot blame your junior. You are the culprit. Once you maintain this rule, nobody dare to do this wrong practice. I'm telling you, because he immediately know I lost my job.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Are you finding what you're just describing? Are you finding that in many countries around the world, not just India? Like I know you work in other countries, you recruit for other countries. So
Mm.
is that the same thing that the leaders in higher positions are manipulative and blaming and judgment and
I have seen like couple of countries example. Uh, some people are like I'm not giving you name. I have given you one European client name company. So earlier I was working there. They are my 10-year-old client. So the earlier boss was very nice, very proactive, very disciplined, very, and the after 6 years he went back to US. So the next director appointed there for Asia Pacific area and the Gulf area. So what I learned from that side, he's very lazy boss. Although he's European, he's lazy and he's not a right decision maker, and he's keeping wrong people in the company, corrupt people. They are doing so much corruption. They are making bad name in the market. The earlier boss created a good name in the market, and that,
wow.
and he's created just because of his wrong decision. He's keeping wrong people. So, and he listening only one side. He's not listening two or three sides, so he can give right decision and right.
Right. Right.
So this thing has happened there, and I have seen one more example from US also. I have client. He went back. He was in India after 7 or 8 years. He went back, and he was my good friend also. And after once he back in US, he appointed one gentleman from India. He is living in US. So he opened a one office in Noida. And this incident last more than 4 or 5 years back. I'm sharing with you.
Mhm.
So that gentleman, what he have done, he again do wrong practice. He appointed one team leader from his some relatives. He appointed there.
Mhm.
Then my recruitment team, we gave at least 10 people for this company. All people have the same problem. They said this leader is a very nasty leader. He's abusing, very
Mhm.
bad. He's not doing anything. He's always blaming. And that gentleman, he's living in US. He's always favoring because he's his close relatives. You know what is the
Yeah.
next?
Mm.
Companies closed in Indian operation.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
They lost $1,000 in India in 4. I said also my other person, you are doing wrong trade. You come down India, otherwise you appoint other person, otherwise you will lose business. My team will not work for you next time because
Mm.
we will not give people. They after 6 months they want to change job. Otherwise we
Yeah.
also spoil our image and candidate image,
Mhm.
recruitment image. So
Mhm.
he said, Raj, I'm busy in other projects, so I cannot interfere. So these things happening there, and they are blindly supporting, and they are, what I have learned, the employees intentionally wasting company monies because
Ah.
company
Mhm.
believing in you. All the time, company is not bad. Leaders are bad sometimes. They are misusing company fund because they thought I am a leader. So I have spent 100 million, 200 million because it's not your money, it's company money.
Mhm. I'm curious about your uh, your business as a whole. Like, is 50% of your business recruiting leaders, or is it 50% skill-based IT people? Like, can you give us a breakdown of your business? I'm curious as to what you know the makeup of the people that you are recruiting.
See, in the leader point of view or the employee point of view, I'm telling you, like
Okay.
if
Yeah.
I'm hiring a leader, and if you are recruiting a leader in any company like lead position, so again this is the big problem. If my team is hunting, like if you are a company, you are looking for, you are not, the company are very smart, they are not showing to us we are looking for manipulative candidate, we are looking for manipulative leader. They are not saying to us, they are just
Mm.
say we are looking for good people. After that, once we are sending 2 or 3 people, so they have choice. They have choice negative vibes and positive vibes as per the boss who are sitting in the interview. If like you are a Betska, I'm a Raj, if I'm negative soul, I'm always attracting negative people in my
Oh yeah,
lobby.
totally. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
If I am taking positive energy, I'm taking always positive. So this has happened. If they are catching negative leader, he will create all the. I heard so many stories about people from my employee side and the other side. The employ one company, one leader destroy all the system. Bad leader.
Mm.
All the good employees left the job, all the good people left the job, all the system will spoil very bad way. And the very one good leader created very good environment, good working value, ethics. And the same thing in employee side also. If you are taking a wrong employee, for example, if you are hiring me in your company for like I'm a like a .NET developer. By the way, might be I'm good technical person, sound person, but I'm not good in by nature, and I'm very toxic person. So again, you are choosing wrong candidate because
Mm.
it's your responsibility. If you are taking any candidate, so you take if candidate is 70% good in technical, you keep it because his nature, his behavior is also very important for long way.
Mm-hmm.
If you are hiring someone who are very eligible, very skillful tech, but he's not good behavior, so he will spoil your company image, he'll spoil your system. So better, in my suggestion, I always suggest to my client, you keep good behavior candidate, talent plus good behavior, not only looking talent plus good behavior.
Mhm, mhm.
This is very
Yeah, which
important for every company.
that's interesting because it brings it back to that responsibility as a recruiter, and that mix between the skills and the behavior and the values and so forth. That is just as important when you want to have a successful company, or the responsibility, as I take it, as I understand you, Raj, your responsibility as a recruiter to make sure that you're supporting companies with good intentions and then placing candidates into good hands, so to
Yes.
speak. Am I correct in that? Or
You're right. But I'm not working for a company who don't have good working values, who don't have ethics,
I
because
was gonna ask that. Yeah.
yeah,
because I'm not feeling comfortable to working these kind of people, because they are we don't want that kind of client, because you will not enjoy work
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
satisfaction.
so how, Raj, do you determine, or how are you evaluating whether or not it is a client that you want to work with versus the clients that you were describing a minute ago?
You see,
Yeah.
yeah, you asking me something, Betska?
No, I was just saying that that's a really good question. Like, how do
So
you
I'm
know
telling
if?
you, I'm doing so much meditation. So I have this power when I'm talking with any client, new client also, even new client, immediately I will judge within 10 minutes. Should I work for
Ah,
this person or not? If
yeah.
I'm not getting right vibes, so I simply said we are not interested. Very polite way. We cannot offer you good service. You can move forward.
So do
Because
you do the same because of your meditation practice? Is that how you help find people for, that's how you recruit people for certain jobs, right? You do use that same instinct, yeah?
yes, I
Wow.
will get
Cool.
I will get vibes when I'm talking with phone also. If I'm not meeting with, I get this vibes.
Hmm. Very interesting. Wow. So cool.
That is
So,
very interesting. So so if we're looking at candidates, for example, who are looking for their next role, what would you recommend to them? Like, because they can tap into their own power as well and their own intuition,
mhm.
and for themselves identify whether or not it might be a good opportunity or not. What would you say to them? Or how
I-
would you prepare them to make sure this is aligned with who they are?
If I'm confident on my candidate, or his values, his portfolio. So what I can do, I have couple of old clients, so I will talk with directly authority. I have some good candidate. If you want in future, so I will introduce you. You can take, at least you can give chance, meet. So I have done this thing so many times, so they get good break.
Mhm,
This is the
mhm.
my approach, simple. Because if I'm finding you are a good person, so I will definitely talking about you to my other clients, because good clients, good companies always looking for these kind of talent also. They always say, some companies director, Viraj, if you got all of a sudden some good people, so you always recommend me.
So what would you like to see change in your industry? What would you like the future to be like?
See, our industry is Betska very challenging, and so much drastic change every month. And
Wow.
if I'm working in my industry, you always upgrade your knowledge power, you always do so much research work, and the recruitment industry future is very bright in
Oh,
upcoming years, because every company around the world, they want good talent, and talent is very limited. So recruitment as an executive firm, our demand and our value is always in the upside, because it's our responsibility to find a good people and give to our clients. So it's a very bright future in our industry and recruitment. But yes, I have seen so many companies, so many people. The knowledge power and the research work is very important. And whenever it's my view, whenever you work any client, first you make friendship with your client, then you can give right people. If I'm giving you candidate, so I'm not thinking I'm your vendor. I'm always circulate my message to my team. You first thing, you are the company part, then you will do good candidate justice. Otherwise, you will not do justice. You will do just vendor work. You will get check and Tata bye bye. This is not the right work. If I'm understanding you, I am thinking it's my company, so I will give you right fit candidate. This way I'm
I
working.
love the approach. I really love the approach that you take with your company, because I've seen it's so many times that the values weren't aligned, the company or the leaders weren't valuing their people, and employees getting stuck, or the other way around, where employees really created a toxic environment for other team members and for the company's success overall. So I think this is very important work to bring in to really create a different, a better corporate environment. So thank you, Raj. I think this
yeah.
was fantastic. This is a great approach, and we certainly need more recruiting companies and more recruiters that are looking at that and really tapping into making sure that it is a good fit.
And you know what, Raj? I'm going to guess that what you do with candidates, if they come to you and they're looking for work, etc., and you see that they need a specific skill or they need to work on, you're going to be like the big brother, aren't you? You're going to
Right.
take them by the hand and say, "This is what if I was you, this is what I would do." Am I right? That's what you do,
Yes,
right?
you're right. Absolutely.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
wonderful.
wonderful.
That's so
Wonderful.
great. You're really helping these people to better themselves, and then maybe they will come back in 6 months or 9 months and
Yes.
say, Raj, I went and studied this particular computer skill or whatever, and I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
True. Very true.
that's
I love
wonderful.
my job. That's why I'm doing.
And you've been doing this like 15 years or something, right?
Yeah, more than
Yeah.
15 years.
More than 15 years. Wow. So in the short time we have left, what's your passion here? What is the number one thing you really like about your job?
I love to help people. That is my passion. Actually, I am very outspoken person in my personal life also, or extrovert person. So I have also I have always one dream, how because school time I was very shy person. After that my personality was completely changed. So I thought how I will help and communicate with people. So I found this is the great career for me and
Wow.
passion. I'm doing so much passion. Still, I have great passion about this. I love to talk with, I'm not particular about higher candidate and lower. I'm talking about all people. I love to talk. That is my passion.
Well, Marion and I are very grateful that you took all this time. I mean, I'm shocked by what I learned here today. So I really want to thank you for doing what is a very difficult job. My God, I had no idea. So thank you for being there and for supporting the corporations and for supporting the employees and would-be employees. Thank you for your love.
Thank you so much. Thank you for both of you. I'm so grateful for you also.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?